Hi, I'm Mike Crown. Welcome back to my shop. Today's October 1st and the holidays for me are getting right around the corner. Time's getting short. You always seem to run out of time at this time of year. And you think, I'm going to do all these great projects, and then you're out of time. And so, try and stay ahead of that this time. I'm going to make some small snowmen with a little tree, some sort of decoration. We'll see how it looks, but that's the plan. And so I can make several of these or even many of these and give out to some of my nicest friends. Like I say, this is lathe work. I'm not particularly good at it, but practice makes perfect. So I'm going to get all this stuff in place on my, my dear wonderful shopsmith. I've got coffee in here. Coffee makes the world go round. Let's see if it makes the lathe work better. So when you start with a dowel, it's already round. And so the challenge for mounting it in the lathe is figuring out where to put that, where the center is for that, right? And so what you can do, since this is a 1 1/4 inch dowel, you can divide that in half and you get 5/8. And you take your compass and draw a 5/8 diameter, and then the point, or you're drawing a 1 1/4 inch diameter, but where the point of that compass sits is the center, and then you can go from that and make a guide, which I've done here. Of course, I didn't measure anything. I don't have time for that. I just eyeballed it, and it's been working out pretty well. The challenge I'm having is not all these dowels are super round. Some of them are a little bit egg-shaped, which is okay. It's just, this isn't precision work. This is just making snowmen and Christmas trees. So, like I say, here's what I came up with. Put it on there, balance it with my left mitten grabber, punch it. Not so bad. Works just fine. Quick enough, accurate enough. And I drill that out. Whack the lathe center in there and go with it. Here's the sloppy little jig I just made up to mark my pieces for turning. So I just put the business end here up against the stop. I've been using this to just kind of hold over the piece while it's mounted on the lathe, but this is easier, and I can do all of them ahead of time. Painting has been a lot. Well, I am making quite a few of these, but if you're wondering about this post, so what I bought, I have 1/4 inch blue tape, just like every other blue tape, except this is a 1/4 inch wide. And I will make it like this and paint. So I painted it white first, obviously. Then I mask off a section and I'll paint it red. It'll look like this one. This is not an exact science, obviously. This is the tool rest from my lathe. But it's heavy, and it lets me put the tape on there, so it'll just kind of hold it in place so it doesn't twist and tanglify when I'm putting it on this 4-foot long dowel. So let's just get going here. You'll see. So the beauty here is I'm only using about 4 inches of each of these, so it doesn't really matter if it's exactly the same. But you'll see that it just kind of, you have to find that rhythm. And then you just turn the dowel and let it go. By the time you get down to about 2 or 3 feet of this, your hand will hurt from twisting this dowel. So I'm taking breaks in between. So I've been making these little snowman Christmas tree pieces. There's a lot to it, so I'm making several dozen of them. The spray paint leaves these just a little bit rough, but good coverage. But I want them a little bit smoother, so I have these ultra fine, brand new 3M scuff pads. No, what I'm using is this fairly well worn, see right through it, very soft, very flexible one. And one piece at a time, just scrub it in there. Now the reason I'm using the old one, it takes off just enough of the grit, but it doesn't take the paint off, which I don't want to paint these again. That is a bigger pain in the neck than I thought it would be. But this is working out okay. Just watching TV in the other room and sanding away at these things and just kind of mindlessly twisting, scrubbing. Patience. So what I'm doing here, I have my little snowman, you see, and what I did was I drilled these little holes here, so they are small, so I had to use a small bit, which is roughly the same size as these round toothpicks, right? And so the idea is I will paint the whole thing this precision stick color, aka brown, prop them up there to dry. When I'm done, I'll take the pointy end and roll it in carrot color, orange, and then cut everything up and glue them into the little snowman. You don't have to watch me do this 41 more times. So now I have parts everywhere. I'm doing, like I said, 42 of these things. I have 42 trees, I have 42 snowmen, I have 42 hats, I have 42 bases, posts, caps. There's pieces everywhere. But anyway, so the process for these trees, right? So they got 2 coats of a dark green paint, which they look fine, but to get them smooth, like we discussed, I used this really worn out piece of extra fine Scotch-Brite, cleaned it up. They're okay, but they need something. So what I'm doing is this. And so there's 2 things here. So one, I'm using this dimensional fabric paint. This is white metallic, which gives me the white color. And what started as an accident was this diamond glitter. These are both available at Walmart or Michael's, probably have better luck at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. And this looked really cool until it dried clear and then you couldn't see it. But to fix that, I put the white over it, and it actually looks pretty cool. So that's why you've got these these multicolored pieces here. So I did the white, and then I'm putting the diamond over it. It gives it a little bit of a sparkle. So crafty of me. Anyway, stupidly time consuming. So you need to be able to hold on to these things. So I've been holding them by the bottom. Wow, sorry about that. I use the white and just dribble it over there, and then carefully set it down. And it has to dry for several hours because it's thick fabric paint. You could probably do both colors on there at once if you're careful. And then later, after this part's dry, then I take, and I'm able to hold the top and do the, yeah, you'll see. Here, just nothing scientific about it. I drip a little on top. It's snow, you know. And then just kind of whatever looks cool to you. Happy little trees. Dilemma was, how am I going to paint these little things? If I'm doing one, I can brush it. I did 42. So what I did, metallic paint. And I did this in the garage too. There's a limit to how much odor I can release into my basement shop. So I feel I need to show you this. So painting these stupid little things is a challenge, but I put them into a box lid. I covered it in some paper, which gave me these cool rounded edges, which was an accident, but I sprayed them like this as they're rolling and picking up whatever's on the paper. And I just kept spraying it and spraying it and shaking it and shaking it. It actually worked really, really well. So if you're doing any number of these things, this is the way to do it. So my dilemma, I have these caps for here. Let me show you one that I made earlier. These are my little North Pole parts. The problem is, now that everything's painted, these are too tight. So I'm just drilling them out. Now for such a small piece, here's what I'm doing. I put some blue paper towel around my pliers, lay it flat on the table. Dun-dun. Probably have to tap it a little bit, but it's much better. There you go.